Oil trading has closed on the 2nd of May, 2024. We always do our disclaimer first. We will go over our calls. After that, we'll make some predictions. This is my trading plan for tomorrow, which will be Friday, May 3rd, 2024. Please remember my calls can be completely wrong. Any trade you made should be made at your own risk. Many of my calls are based on my MEJT system, which gives targets but not entries. And the rules are available here. We had a few calls. We said the most likely thing was a gap and a prompt move outside the day's range. Here's what we said. Most common is gap, prompt move outside the range. So here's your gap, and here's your move outside the range. So we did get that. I thought the gap would be up. We said argues for the gap being up, and it was. And we had a target, 50.1482. I kind of hedged a bit, but decided to go with it. When we gap up, the price remains on the table, but not the time. It doesn't mean the time can't be today. It just means I don't know when it prints. It did print today, so it's a good thing I stayed with it, and that worked. This is the pattern with the early low. Tomorrow should have the early high. During the day, MEJT gave a buy signal. It printed its minimum target immediately. We also got an ultimate buy, and that's already printed. This is a weekly chart. We haven't looked at too much. These are Bollinger Bands in this one and this one. And we've stayed in the upper half this whole advance. And so far we're still staying in the upper half as that support's holding. That's not the only support. The MEJT target's also a support level at and just under it. We have a wall with gap pattern. That's unstable. And the price target is to undercut the origin of the wall and find support. We also have a cup with upsloping handle. That's an unstable pattern. The target's to undercut the low of the cup. So we get the target and we got support. Now, support doesn't have to hold. I mean, this is a triple bottom here. These things are made to be broken. And when they're broken, I mean, there's no reason we can't keep dropping. Not only didn't we drop, this support held, and we closed over the origin of this leg, and that's a very, very bullish pattern. Now, we still need confirmation for any reversal. And the non-farm payroll report comes up before tomorrow's open. I don't know how we're going to respond to that. If the response is negative and we gap down and hold it, everything I'm going to say gets thrown out the window. But if we hold this, if we don't invalidate this by gapping down, this is an exceptionally bullish pattern, should lead to higher prices. Let's remember this is wave one, and when wave one is strong, the whole advance tends to be strong. Now, I don't know if this is wave two or A of two, but regardless of how you call it, any strong advance supposedly hits a new high without waiting longer than 3 months. So if that rule works by the end of June, early July, we should hit a new high. And I think we could be on our way there now, unless we invalidate today's action. I've decided to adopt what used to be my alternate count as the main count. I think we've completed an ABC, and this is either A or it's 2. That's not the one I want. That's not the one I want. Yeah, this is the count I've dropped. Now you'll remember I said I didn't trust this drop and I didn't trust this break below the line. And that's really played out so far. So that was a false break. Now, a number of reasons to think this low is going to hold. This is the time you've been waiting for a long time. It's a F18 from the COVID low. We're going to say tomorrow's pattern has a really high regardless of where we open. The non-farm payroll comes out before the open, can influence price action in ways I can't predict with a sufficient level of accuracy. That being said, I think today's action is quite bullish, and if the gains maintain at the open, the odds are good. Today marked a very tradable low. It's Carolan's date. Sentiment indicators show too few bulls, and that's bullish. The wave count's compatible with the bottom. Break to a new reaction low is rejected. The rally cleared a significant technical level. We hit a new low for this leg, and then we closed up. I mean, this is very bullish stuff. Now anything needs confirmation. So if we gap down tomorrow and hold it, forget this. But otherwise, this is powerfully bullish stuff. The futures are up smartly as I write this, and absent a negative reaction to non-farm payrolls tomorrow, they should get confirmation of today's reversal and trade higher in a rally that should last far longer than just a day. I mean, this is bullish stuff. Now, I'm not calling this Adam and Eve because everything I've read says Adam is supposed to come first, but maybe somebody knows more about that than I do. I think it's the same idea on top of everything else. You have a support level which held, and then we closed over this high in the time frame we've been looking for, and when sentiment indicators have changed and the count works, I mean, they don't ring a bell at the bottom, but this is about as close as you can get if you ask me. Now it all falls apart. Again, if we gap down and hold it, that all falls apart. Otherwise, I think we're going up, and probably before the rally's over, we're going to hit new highs. And that's today's call.